pounds. I mean, it's expensive to live out here, number one, but on the other angle of it, you get so many people who live out here to work with and to get influence from. When the Megadeth reunion didn't happen, I got in touch with Nick.
It goes like this.
You know, I wanted to see if he was interested in producing the new record. I had heard some of the stuff he'd done before, and it was really cool. And, you know, it makes it easy because we both live in the San Fernando Valley. You know, I live in Encino, he lives in Studio City, so we're about 10 minutes away. But it makes it easy because, you know, I'm able to plug in and, you know, record a few demos here and there, and he's able to listen back on his end, make changes, send it back, and then, you know, we get to toss around the ideas. I compare it all the time to like to stripping down naked in front of everybody you know. Because what happens is the instant that you plug in and start playing, all of your shortcomings become evident. So if you've got little timing issues here and there, or if you're pitchy here and there, you know, they're gonna figure it out right away, and they're gonna see, you know, what your capability is. And that's one of the hardest parts, but the courage is getting over that and saying, you know what, we're gonna make a cool record, and no one's perfect. And so, yeah, I'm gonna be pitchy here and there, and I'm gonna be off time here and there, but we're gonna, you know, make it as best we can, and hopefully, you know, they like it because we're enjoying the process of making it. Go ahead. So we figured we were going to document the whole process of making this record. And we're going to do it in a way that's not like a third-person documentary interview type thing, but more of us speaking directly to you.
You got to practice every day, and you got to keep your stuff clean. Can't be having none of this dusty shit going on.
One of the reasons that it takes so long for us to do this, and like just going back to the last record, it almost became a joke. 2.5 years of making a record and 2 studios in the process.
Okay, so first you said the girls are looking at you.
Okay.
No, what did I say about the piece of shit thing?
You gotta feel like you're a piece of shit. Because then at least you're at the gym, you're gonna feel like less of a piece of shit.
You know, I mean, it's been, gosh, well over a year since the last time you've been in the studio, and so what is, I mean, and I know that you're talking about you're going to be doing a tour here in a little bit, which we'll get to later on, but in the meantime, I mean, what's been going on with you, with your life, with the band, you know, I mean, tell me all about you, man, because we got to catch up. It's been way too long.
I stopped playing music, actually. I stopped playing for...
Really?
Yeah, I just kind of stopped. I went...
Really?
You know, yeah.
So, I mean, you know, because as a musician, I know that it's a very emotionally charged industry, and...
You know, when you're making a record, you're so caught up in the success of the moment, and you're so excited for what's to come, you know, that you never stop and think about what's going to happen if people don't like the record. And that was something that hit us hard. And it wasn't that people didn't like the record, it was that the critics didn't like the record. They could smell through it, and in reality, it's their job to be critical. That's why they're called critics. And we weren't ready to handle that. It had never occurred to us throughout the process that it wasn't going to be liked. And I'd talked to people before who had experienced failure, but for some reason that didn't resonate. That didn't, you know, when I was listening to them, I wasn't thinking, well, my record's going to be a failure, so maybe I should take a listen. I was thinking, oh, we're going to be #1 on the Billboard charts, and, you know, this is going to be huge, and people are going to be all over the place, all into Sweet Eve, and it didn't, you know, it wasn't until the record was a complete and dismal failure that, you know, we stopped and said, ooh, maybe we shouldn't.
Jerry Brown said we're in a water shortage, so I'm doing what I can to conserve water, and there's none in my pool, obviously. But I'm sitting out here watching the eclipse of the moon, drinking a glass of Cabernet, Gnarly Head, and yeah, it's gonna be cool.